Hello, darlings, and welcome to Digimon Ghost Gays. This is the podcast where we just met 3 new pet rabbits. We've adopted them. There are Benuis now, and they do a funny little dance. I'm Emery. My pronouns are they, she, he.
I'm Morg. My pronouns are they, he. These Benui give me lots of memories to tamers.
And I'm Elvie. My pronouns are they, she, he. And, I can't believe capitalism failed.
I can't believe it.
What a surprise.
Hey, here's a funny little question. We know Jellymon is always off, having new business ideas and being a little girl boss and on her grind. Does she ever actually make any money from what she does? Does she charge money for her goods and services? 'Cause she doesn't in this episode.
I think she's gotta.
I think she just gets paid in chaos.
Yeah, I think she's just doing it for the clout.
Well, see, I think part of it is that she's just kind of I don't need to get money because I can use Kirshiro's credit card, and I don't understand money beyond the idea of credit card go up, money go up.
She's doing it for exposure.
Yeah, exactly.
She just likes schemes. She likes doing schemes. She just wants to get scams. She just wants to get her jawbreakers.
Although she has done paying ones. The dreaming one people had to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it just depends. I think she's just trying to experiment, right? For this one. And then
I think she's mostly just in it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
The game being capitalism.
Jellymon, why are you like this?
I can almost respect that,
She's not lying about it. You know what? She's probably the most honest capitalist out there.
So true. So this episode starts with just people feeling their apartment building shake, rattle, and roll. And they all go outside and they're like, oh, holy shit, only the building is vibrating.
There's should no be noted that earthquakes are super common.
Oh, yeah, earthquakes
This is a very normal reaction for them to be like, oh no, an earthquake. No, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, sorry.
Something's wrong.
In Japan, there's, a solid amount of earthquakes. That's why it's very, mountainous, and they get, earthquakes, tsunamis and stuff. It's just very, it's on a plate or whatever. It's, on 2 plates, I think. Something like that. I don't know geology that well.
I think you're sort of right, but I will not try to explain it either.
But yeah, the weird part is that it's just the building that's vibrating, nothing else around them. It's not an earthquake in the normal sense of the word.
Yeah, it's just one building that's shimmying and shaking. All the others standing perfectly still. The buildings didn't drink too much coffee before bed, apparently.
Classic mistake.
Only one of these buildings needs to stim by tapping their leg a whole lot.
Wow, this building just like me for real.
We got to Nomura, who is wearing the ugliest fucking glasses I've ever seen. And you know what? I wear ugly stuff sometimes because I can get away with it. Nomura can't.
Nomura got a fucking downgrade this episode, which is impressive.
Also, he was just rubbing it in Hiro's face because Hiro recognizes the glasses, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Being from some media.
Yeah, I think he said they were like a, limited edition, like, concert promotional thing.
Right.
Yeah, and Gamamon wants to eat them.
He does. He wants to know if they're chocolate.
And we get the name drop of the character that's going to be super important this episode, and it's Fukatsu, who just wants to make some friends by buying them.
Can't buy your friends, we learn. Again and again.
Yeah, there's consequences to that. The consequences being shaking buildings.
And we actually, like, after we get introduced to the character and stuff, we get another cut to, like, a different building, right? Like, they kind of have, like, more to show us in this whole, like, strange vibrating building adventure. Adventure? Yeah, sure. I'll just say because it's like someone's like in their house and they're just like trying to get water out of the sink, and like suddenly like the sink is like spraying red, and like so that's kind of spooky, but like they realize like, oh, it's rust coming out of the sink.
Yeah, it's Sabikuibisco up in here. Everything's getting rusty. We need to go find some mushrooms.
Help, I don't know what that is.
I also don't know what that means.
It's like a post-apocalyptic anime with rust and mushrooms, and it's very
Nice.
clickbaity, which is why Devin made me watch it. It was good.
Did you watch it for your podcast, or do you just watch it for fun?
Yeah, I watched it before we started the podcast. We might do an episode on it though.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll understand it then.
I just think they need to start using those filters that everyone is trying to convince me to buy for my tap water.
Yeah, like a
You
Brita
don't?
filter.
A Brita filter, that's it, yeah.
It's always like the branded one for some reason. Not sponsored.
Brita sponsor us and maybe I'll finally buy one of those.
But yeah, then like their house starts shaking and they're like, oh, what the fuck? You know, going outside and seeing again, it's only their building shaking.
Yeah, and this woman is also sort of freaking out because she swears she saw something.
Oh yeah, she saw something. She's like, I think I saw like an elf or something. And I'm like, kind of. I guess you could call them elves.
I think if you don't know what you're looking at, you might as well call it an elf.
Oh god, the elf on the shelf has come to life.
I'm not familiar with it. I know the concept through Tumblr, but I'm not. It's so weird.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. It's just something that happened like after I extremely grew up, so I like barely
Nice.
like I didn't have to deal.
Extremely grew up.
It is a phenomenon that I've never interacted with. I've only just heard about it. I've never confirmed the existence of any elf on the shelves.
I did see
I'm
one
gonna
in
assume it's not real.
I think I did see one once, so I unfortunately think it might be real, at least for me.
Damn.
In my reality, you know. It could be like a...
Yeah. Glad I don't live in your reality.
Yeah, exactly.
More people at the dorm are like showing up with rare stuff.
Yeah, like,
And
Nomura gets another one. Like, he gets like a shirt too, and he's like, hell yeah, man, you should go.
he looks so ugly.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like the shirt more than the glasses, but,
I mean, they would look great on me. But Nomura simply cannot.
He can't.
so true.
And then, we see this crowd of people around Fukatsu, the guy who has the hookups, and business is booming, and Hiro's like, wow, good thing Kyoshiro's not here.
This will be important later.
It will. Kyoshiro's on a business trip.
My man
Why is this?
has so many jobs in order to keep Jellymon's habits afloat.
Yeah.
He probably has to take extra jobs now.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got to support, all of Jellymon's business ventures. He's providing, startup capital.
Oh boy.
But Jellymon isn't but Jellymon just like isn't paying her workers or paying for materials, so who knows where that money's going.
Oh wow, just like Uber.
She lost it all in the ponies.
Yeah. Jellymon actually has a Genshin addiction and spending all the money on wishes.
God, she would.
You know what, of course.
She would.
She would. If any one of these characters would get a gambling addiction, it's Jellymon.
In fact, she got a phone this episode and was probably playing Genshin Impact on her phone.
That's the biggest mistake.
Oh boy.
We get an extremely cute scene where Hiro and Gamamon enter his dorm and Espimon's there. Mm-hmm. And Espimon doesn't know the dorm rule, which is don't eat on other people's food. So Gamamon's really upset.
Yeah, he's just in there stealing some chocolate.
It's just one. And Gamamon's like, no, it's more than one. And it's so cute.
I think it was the last one, though. I think that was the problem, because he, turns the box over and nothing comes
empty.
out. Hiro just, offers him some, ramen.
Yeah, after Espimon says, I'll acquire my own, and Hiro has to be like, are you going to steal?
Yeah.
Espimon's like,
Yeah, Hiro looking...
Not anymore.
Hiro looking really resigned, just, gives him a cup of ramen that he was clearly gonna eat himself, just to curtail his thievery.
Keep him out of trouble.
Hiro looks so tired.
Hiro has 2 sons now, and one of them keeps calling him fake Hiro, so...
I can't wait for Espimon to look at Hiro and say, you're not my real dad.
God. Or what if he finally learns that he is actual Hiro, and then he says, you are my real dad?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, Hiro's dad shows up in this episode.
He does.
He does.
Towards the end, but...
So that we all know who really fucked up. Espimon gives Hiro the exposition of the episode.
Yeah, he was in someone's apartment, not doing anything too shady. But,
yeah, not stealing anything or anything.
He would never.
But he just watched rust appear everywhere.
Yeah, and I think also said that the building was shaking.
Yeah, I think the building shaking was actually more important, because I don't know if it was until later that Hiro was like, oh, everything's rusty.
Yeah, so, Hiro's just staking out this building at 2 a.m. like you do.
Yeah!
The cops show up and they're like, hello, little boy, what the fuck?
What are you doing here? He
was like, I was just waiting for this building to fall down, don't worry about it.
And then that happens.
Yeah, but not that building, a different building.
Yeah, different building.
The cops and Hiro both see a different building shaking, so they all go over and they're like, oh shit, the shaking building real.
And people are like, oh, definitely saw an elf. Elf confirmed.
Elf confirmed.
Elf confirmed. Also, Hiro goes inside the building, while the cops are distracted, and he sees that there's rust everywhere and also, cracks in the cement. So this building, not doing so well structurally.
Yeah.
He, calls Ruli, and it's do you know anything about shaking buildings or elves? She doesn't know the building stuff, but she did hear about elves on her social media thing. And she said, people have been asking for whatever they want from a certain website, and they just kind of get it. And she doesn't know the website yet, but what happens then? Like, I think she just is kind of like, I'll get back to you. And then does Hiro go to talk to Fukatsu? Or did I miss that part?
Yeah, like before that, we learned that like a storehouse on the school grounds collapsed.
Oh yes, yep.
And it's like, oh, that's weird. It was like a newer storehouse. Like, why would it just fall down?
Yeah.
We know why. And yeah, and Hiro also, I think, starts to see some cracks in like the drywall around the school. So,
and there's rust on like the staircase, like
mm-hmm.
That like a couple people are like, why is this happening? And it's just very weird. And then, yeah, it's kind of like, oh, this is more pressing now. We got to figure out what this website is. And, you know, he kind of like connects in his head, like, oh, you can get whatever you want. That's what Fukatsu is doing. So maybe I should like try to talk to him.
Yeah, and Fukatsu like isn't gonna tell him about his source. He's just like, no, if you want anything, just ask me for it. It's fine. It's this only works if you're dependent on me because I'm making friends through handing out free stuff, and that doesn't work anymore if I give you my source.
Yeah.
So Hiro has to go back and be like, "Hello, elf on the shelf boy," and Fukatsu's like, "Oh, we need to talk."
Yeah, like
In private.
Ruli specifically calls Hiro and gives them the name like the reward elf, which is apparently the site. So like Hiro just walks up to him and mentions it. So he's like, okay, let's talk. And then Hiro has a good fucking moment here because we see we see how much more assertive he's gotten since the start of the series. Cause like, you know, Fukatsu, explaining like, how he needs to keep this, gig running in order to have, like, friends and get attention from people. And Hiro is just not hearing it. He's just like, hey, this could be causing damage to the dorm. You gotta give me your phone, dude. And just, like... Yeah. And actually, like, fucking, just fucking stands up and approaches him. Like, putting the pressure on a little. Let's go, Hiro.
Or, yeah... It's funny, like, he talks about how they might be connected, and, like, he's like, Fukatsu's like, what the fuck? How is a building getting rusty connected to getting shit? And it's like, yeah, good point, man.
Yeah, I mean, by this point, he's figured that, like, all of the structural damage we've seen is probably connected to the elf showing up.
Yeah, and we get the website. We see this website. It is my no J and then a double L.
J.
Yeah.
And my mind immediately said Jellymon, and then I said, haha, of course not.
Yeah.
GL, that doesn't mean anything.
No, I literally said, no way, that's too obvious. It won't be that.
Then guess what?
Hiro also thought it was too obvious and didn't go right to her immediately. So he just, yeah. Oh, and Fukatsu's like mad because he's like, oh, you tricked me. You didn't know about this shit at all. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But he gets the website, he finds it, he puts something in there. It's funny because he gets some champion chocolate for Gamamon to deliver while they're like sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
And
they're definitely sleeping. Their eyes are definitely closed.
They're very asleep, and they're not.
They're asleep. They're going hunk shoe, hunk shoe.
It's so funny to me because it's like obviously it's done so that we the audience know that they're awake. But I'm like, Antillimon, get some spatial awareness. Be more aware of what is happening in the room that you're in.
They don't know how humans sleep. Maybe they sleep with their eyes, like,
Yeah, you know
open and
what?
growling.
I don't know shit. You're correct.
Listen, the Antilamon have been doing a lot of orders lately. They too are on their grind. I can understand them being a little out of it.
They're so small.
Yeah.
I was, like, very surprised by, like, because, you know, I'm used to them being, like, taller than a human, like, in Tamers. And, like, yeah, we see them bigger later, but I'm like, why are they so small?
Yeah, so
why?
let's lay out the scene here. Like, you know, the boys are in bed, and then just like three tiny little Antilamon, just a foot fucking high, just walk into their room and start, you know, one of them like checks
Checks their cell phone.
you know, checks their cell phone to confirm the order of like a champion chocolate, whatever that means, and then they start doing a little dance. And this is like maybe the closest thing to a horror element that this episode has, and it's not like, you know, outright scary imagery horror or anything. It's more just like a surreal what is going on horror. It's just like, what if three little men showed up in your room and started doing a little dance kind of horror.
I thought the horror was that, like, oh, their building is going to fucking fall.
Yeah, you know.
No, I would also be upset if three little men stepped into my room and did a weird dance.
I think I'd be confused, but maybe entertained.
I do what, at this point in my life, I would look at it and say this might as well happen.
Yeah, they're just doing like chants and stuff, and they're like suddenly making a chocolate thing appear.
Yeah, some mist swirls around the ceiling, and then just like a big chocolate thing falls out of it. It's like a fancy, you know, looks like a chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Even. I'm not sure if it's meant to be a cake or just like a really big fancy piece of chocolate, but it's like in a fancy, you know, package and everything.
I wouldn't eat it either way, so and so would Gamma.
Yeah.
For sure.
Gamamon's excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
Although he is kind of like, why are these fuckers here?
Mm-hmm.
But Hero's like head in the game, so he immediately sets in the chase, and we see more cracks as they're running. And lo and behold, the little guys go into Kyoshiro's room.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Kirishiro is
That's-
on a business trip.
Yeah, what could be going on?
Very sus.
Yoshiro's not home. Why would anyone be in his room?
And he knocks, and Jellymon just pokes her head out like, you know, darling's on a business trip. What the fuck do you want?
Yeah, he's like, so I saw some Banui just go in your room. Why? Jellymon's like,
Yeesh.
all right, I'll tell you, I guess, whatever.
So
She
yeah.
lets him in, and she's super proud. She's so proud to show him her website.
Yeah, because like Hiro goes in and immediately sees like the back end page of this ordering website on Kyoshiro's monitor. So he's like, ah, crap, I see what this is.
Yeah.
Like, Jellymon, what is this? Come on.
Jelymon's so excited.
What is it this time?
Because she's like, yeah, the Antilamon can just, like, make shit appear out of nowhere. It's sick.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, are you sure? Are you sure they're making stuff appear out of nowhere? Are you sure? Because there's been some
like-
problems.
Yeah, she's like, they use spiritual energy, it's fine.
And they call Ruli and Angoramon. And Angoramon's like, oh no, that's not fine.
That's bad, actually.
It's the
You should
opposite.
probably leave the building because they're not... Do you know what... Energy cannot be created or destroyed, ass. shit going on here. Like,
And Goramon says humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain something of equal value must be lost. That is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange.
Wow, I can't believe Jellymon loses an arm, a leg, and a brother this episode.
Damn.
It's okay, Jellymon has many arms.
she does. She's fine.
She wouldn't even notice. She'd just continue.
What if the Antilamon did human transmutation? I'm just saying.
It'd probably suck to lose one of her hands that, like, actually have fingers on it, though. Like, you know, it'd be, like, annoying.
Give Jellymon some auto mail.
That'd be sick.
That would be kind of sick.
That'd be so cool. They run to Fukatsu because he did what any teenage boy who is given unlimited wishing potential does, and he made unlimited wishes.
He made a big order.
He made a huge ass order.
He did a big Amazon wish fulfillment, but, like, emphasis on the wish, you know?
And Jellymon's like, cancel. And the Antilamon are like, no, that's not how it works. Jellymon didn't read her own fucking contract, did she?
She's too busy. She's too girl boss to read a contract.
Readings for nerds.
Readings for nerds, like Kirishiro. Yeah, like, they get, like, really mad at her because she's, like, trying to be like, hey, no, stop. And I'm like, shouldn't you kind of talk it over? Because if you're, like, in business together, but they're, like, very letter to the law, which is a very Digimon thing to do.
They are extremely unionized.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. They're like, fuck you, boss. They just, so they keep, like, pulling iron. I don't know if we actually said it, but, like, they're pulling iron from the building and, like, turning it and, like, transmuting it, like you were saying, into other things. And that's a big problem because the building's going to collapse. So don't, like, Antilamon, like, just kind of make a bunch of shit appear, and since they're invisible to Fukatsu, he's just like, why is all this stuff appearing, and why is the building shaking? Please help me.
Yeah, like, by the time, you know, the gang gets to Fukatsu's room, he's already beat it. He's already gotten the heck out of there because a flood of items has started appearing in his room.
And the building's, like, shaking.
And the building is shaking.
And, Hiro, like, puts on the, like, pseudo-digital world stuff, to kind of, like, stop them from, like, fucking up the building more. And they're all fucking pissed.
Yeah.
They're like, how dare you stop us, like, doing our job? Is this when, like, Ruli and Ingoramon, they, like, kind of fly overhead? Because they, like, know what's happening already since...
Yeah, the visual got activated, so they rushed over, and we get, like, Betelgamamon and Simba and Goramon, who cannot win from Antilamon.
There are 3 of them, to be fair.
There are 3 of them. So we get Ganon Weissman and Lamortmon. It goes really fast.
Yeah.
And they do their big attack thingies, and it looks super cool.
It rolls.
Also, if we haven't said it, like, you know, the Antilamon get big in order to fight.
Yeah,
they're not just
they are little big boys.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a big Banui.
They're big Banui. That's kind of who I was picturing. Never mind. I'll talk about this later. This is extremely not podcast related. I was about to start talking about Fellowship. Like, anyone knows what I was about to talk about besides...
I'm assuming Emery would know.
Besides Emery, right?
The Antilamon heal fast. I know this because that's why I like using Antilamon in my Digimon games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got that meditation cure. Like, they get some scratches and scrapes, but then they just heal right over. Because Antilamon being able to control matter and shit also lets them heal themselves, and also, like, turn their hands into, like these solid steel claws.
They got like iron fists.
Yeah, I do wish that they would turn their hands into axes.
That would be
because that's a cool move Antilamon can do, but
That
not
is
this
a
episode.
really cool move. But unfortunately, this episode wanted to go weird instead of scary.
Mm-hmm.
We do get Jellymon's brain finally functioning and being like, oh yeah, you can only cancel from the client's IP address. And it's like, Jellymon, what the fuck kind of cancel is that?
She's like,
You're telling me that if I lost my phone, I would not be able to cancel my order anymore.
she's like, I wanted it more secure than to be on my stuff. It was something Ankilamon wanted. I keep saying Ankilamon, which
That's a different
That's a yeah. Sorry.
That's a
That's a
yellow dinosaur.
That's a dinosaur. These are bunnies. Sorry.
That's not the same.
And
But maybe they'll show up in a later episode, you know. You don't know what Ghost Game's gonna do.
I would love to see an Ankylomon.
Maybe they listen to our podcast and use our little hints.
that'd be sick.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I say weird stuff sometimes. Where were we? Fukatsu's stuck in an elevator.
Yeah. Because Jellymon...
This reminds me instantly why I hate elevators.
True. Jellymon tries to, like, go to his room to get the laptop, but he brought the laptop with him into the elevator because he's trying to, like, escape, but still, you know, keep his very expensive electronics safe.
Mm-hmm.
If fair, to be honest. I would probably also grab my No, I wouldn't grab my laptop. I'd grab my Switch.
I have a fucking desktop, so I'm just fucked. It's fine.
See you struggling down the stairs with you.
I am... No. I refuse. I would carry my phone, and that would be enough. It's fine. Yeah, he's like...
The coach goes to save him, which I think is a pretty cool scene, actually.
Yeah, he, like...
Because he, like, breaks open the elevator door, and he pulls him out, and he gets him in, like, a fireman's carry, basically. Fukatsu's just looking forlorn as his precious laptop gets left behind.
Mm-hmm.
But good thing it was left behind, because Jellymon can go to it and get it. It's interesting to see it, because it's like she's in the pseudo-digital world doing that, and he's like in the real world escaping the elevator stuff. It's just like...
Yeah, it's interesting that, like, the laptop, you know, in the real world also, like, being moved in the real world also, like, moved it in the pseudo-digital world.
Right.
I wonder what that means. Probably nothing we need to worry too much about.
Yeah, it's probably done for dramatic effect, but also very cool to think about. They could do some fun stuff with this.
Yeah, it's just interesting because, like, things break and I feel like I don't fully understand the pseudo-digital world, and I don't know if I necessarily need to.
I don't think the writers do.
She does get to it. She opens, the laptop, and she, like, very, like, frantically is just, like, canceling everything. Because, so, when she's doing that, like, before she even, like, goes to look for the laptop, Hiro and Ruli, and we get confirmation that, like, it's all of the ultimates that have, like, a time limit. All of the or the perfect evolutions, they have, like, a time limit because Lemortmon also has a time limit. So they only have so much time to stop the Banui while Jellymon goes on this hunt for the laptop. And so when she's like starting to cancel everything, they like run out of time. And they're just like kind of surrounded.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like frantically typing with her like hands and her tentacles at the same time. She's like, cancel, ah! Why did he get so much stuff? And we are all asking this question.
He really went overboard. This boy did not think where he would be putting all that stuff he ordered.
Right.
You've got one dorm room. How much stuff can you fit in there?
Right. It's like, damn, good thing no one tried to get something big like a car.
Mm-hmm.
What?
And for dramatic tension, or for dramatic effect, she makes it literally just in time, and we see Antillamon's metal arm go down at the same time her final cancel click goes down. And Antillamon's like, all right, all the orders were cancelled. Guess we don't need to fight anymore.
Yeah.
They get it on
How convenient.
their cell phone.
They're so soft when they speak.
Yeah. They're Banuis.
They are Banuis, but they spoke, and I was like, oh, good voice.
They're like, oh, okay, I guess we're not doing all that.
This does mean that after this order, they just go to the next order.
Listen, hopefully Jellymon closes down that website after this.
I assume she
can only
does.
assume.
She does seem to, at least enough that like the Antillaman are like, yeah, I guess we're not doing deliveries anymore. No, I'm just saying they're like sad because they want to like give people stuff that they want. They like helping people because they can do it in the digital world because they probably have like stuff around that's not like buildings that people live in that they can like transform into stuff that people want. And they even show like a little scene of them doing that.
Yeah, I mean, but before we get to that, we get Kyoshiro returning from his business trip and
just in time. He's back just in time.
Seeing the dorm in absolute shambles, like
he's like, what happened?
He's losing it.
My precious dorm.
I can't be the dorm leader of rubble. No,
all the other dorm leaders are gonna laugh at him. I bet he goes to dorm leader meetings.
Oh, he does. He's got to yell at Jellymon. He's got to be like, Jellymon, you fucked up. You fucked up big time.
He's got her in both his hands, and he's like shaking her a little and yelling at her that she needs to read Fullmetal Alchemist and understand that things cost. You gotta pay a price. There's no free lunch.
Yeah, he's like, you gotta like figure out what stuff's made out of. You gotta like, before you go into business, you can't just like willy-nilly jump into this. And
yeah, you gotta know what materials you're using. You gotta understand the supply chain. Like, you kind of fucked it big time with this one.
And she goes all red and just deflates.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
She experiences shame for the first time.
She says sorry for the first time ever, I think.
Jellymon had character growth too.
Yay.
Look at that.
She apologized.
She apologized for the first time.
She's very sad.
She does look so sorry. It's amazing. Flashback to when she almost killed a bunch of people with her dream thing and said, do that again tomorrow.
Yeah. She's come so far since then. She's finally on the tail end of her manic episode.
I'm so proud of her.
God. Hopefully she doesn't crash too hard, Is this when the Antilamon, like, start talking about how they're like, oh man, we just wanted to give stuff to people?
Yeah, because Hokuto told us we were amazing. It's like, fuck you, Hokuto. You didn't think this one through.
Yeah. Hero's like, oh god, it's my dad again. Fuck.
Yeah, he's really like, oh, fuck off, Dad.
Yeah, we see a little flashback of Antilamon fixing one of Hokuto's sandals, so he's not just dirty and barefoot all the time. And he's like, "Wow, that's really cool. You should go help people over in the real world and give them things, I guess."
Why didn't they fix his shirt?
It's a fashion statement.
He's got one sleeve ripped off.
Yeah, it's a look. Listen.
maybe barefoot is illegal in the digital world.
Right, because I've never seen a Digimon's feet.
Yeah, I've never seen several Digimon's bare ass feet. Yeah, and then Kirshiro's like, okay, so if you want to keep making stuff, I guess I have a little bit of a thing I could help you with. And he, like, brings them to a recycling plant, and he's like, okay, you can use this stuff to make stuff, I guess.
I think it said it was the Usagi Recycling Center. Usagi is a word, definitely.
It do mean Banui is the thing.
I thought it meant rabbit. Yeah. I thought it was weird that the subtitles didn't translate it.
They're like, oh, bunny.
They know we all...
They know we're all weebs.
Yeah, they know we've seen Sailor Moon. We know what Usagi means.
Sailor Moon. We have.
I've only seen a few episodes, to be fair. But, yeah, I think it's cool, like, that, like, I don't know if this will ever come up again, but just, like, the concept of, like, very rapid recycling that they can do. Oh, before the recycling stuff, we forgot to say that they, like, fixed the building. Like, this is important just because, like, the building isn't rusted over anymore, and, like, all this stuff had to be returned. So everyone's fucking pissed at Fukatsu, and he's like, I'm sorry, I just wanted friends. It's like, dude, you gotta make friends other ways. I'm sorry, man. I know making friends is really hard, but this is not the way.
I'm so sorry to have to tell you this, but you do have to develop social skills. I know it's really hard, but you gotta.
Man, I was late.
We all hate it.
I was late to the party too, Fukatsu, but I also didn't break a building over this.
Fukatsu, everyone at my high school sucked, except for the people who weren't in my class. I'm legally obliged to say that because one of them listens to this episode, this podcast. But you know what? No, high school is not where you make friends.
Yeah,
not for people like us.
In general, it's funny because I have, like, one friend who I did meet in high school, but we weren't friends until after high school. So.
Same hat.
Yeah. Or, like, we weren't as close, I guess. Like, we were, like, acquaintances in high school, and then but, yeah. But yeah, back to the recycling plant. That's kind of the end of the show, but we get, like, Goramon's little message that I don't remember. Because I always forget to write it down.
It's hard to forge iron that is too hot. Sometimes you have to cool off for your own good.
Thank you, Emery. You're a champion.
And thank you, Goramon, for your wisdoms that I will take with me and definitely realize what they mean and continue, like, following your wise advice.
I'm so much more wise having watched all these episodes of Digimon Ghost Game.
I love that Angoromon's just like both an old man and a kid in like at the same time. Like he's just Angoromon, and we love him for it.
Yeah.
We love him
nice.
so much. I love all these little guys.
Me too. Don't yawn. Oh no.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did a big yawn and talked, and it was super obvious.
All right, I think that's the signal that we should start wrapping up. Elvir, what are your plugs?
My plugs, right? I am on social media at Erviru. If you can't find me, then it's because I don't use that social media. That's it. That's all I've got.
You can find me at Haunting the Morgue on Twitter. That's Haunting the MORG. It's more appropriate now than ever because it's October, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can also find me on my other podcasts, Forward ReZero Watch podcast, and Sonic Shuffle, a random and holistic Sonic lore podcast that is recording again. Yay.
Woohoo!
Yay.
Wow, you sound so excited for that.
Oh, I mean, I am. It's just like, I know that it didn't stop for people listening because we had a bit of a backlog. So it's more exciting for me than it is for the listeners, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to be seeing new episodes of Sonic Shuffle. I enjoy Sonic Shuffle.
Thank you.
I was just actually listening to an episode right before we recorded this. I have
Oh my god.
30 more minutes to go.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It's funny to hear my friends listening to podcasts I do, even though that's probably most of our audience. Yeah. I'm still just like, ah.
Yeah, that's valid, yeah.
Anne-Marie, you go. I'm done.
All right. I'm on Fur Affinity with the username Space Robot. You can get in touch with me about a commission on Discord if you know me there, or at spacerobotart@gmail.com. I'm also on a podcast called Gone Will Hunting, which I feel like we were so close to getting Devin's files this week, but it didn't quite happen. So I'm really gonna push for it when I talk to him on Tuesday. I want to make this podcast again. And also I'm on the upcoming podcast We Rate Queerbait. That's hopefully gonna be happening soon. We had Dan from aforementioned Sonic Shuffle on to talk about Sonic X. That's might be something you hear in a few weeks or months. I don't know.
You'll hear it eventually, and that's what's important. And someday I'll be on it and not forget to
Yeah. Sonic X pretty gay. I'm here to say
it's pretty gay. I've seen enough of it to say that it's gayer than I was expecting.
Yeah, so I think that's it for me. This show is on Twitter at Digighost Gays. We have a Discord server where you can make friends, which is the hard thing to do, but we got people there who love to talk about Digimon and who love to, all hang out on Mondays and watch some App Monsters for our Apply Mondays get-togethers, and that's a fun show, and it's rowdy, and we like to talk about it. You can also hang out on Fridays. Wow, 2 days a week when I'm doing art streams in voice chat. So that's a lot of fun. And this show is part of the Noisespace.xyz network. You can go to Noisespace.xyz and find all sorts of neat shows. Thank you to our gracious host, Matt GameCube, who is a Canadian GameCube who lets us make all these podcasts, and we appreciate him.
What a
Thanks,
legend.
Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
So I think that about does it for us here this week. So until next time, all you poltergeists, ghouls, and non-boonaries,
Digimon is for the gays.
goodbye, darlings.
Goodbye.